South Africa's Defence Chief General Rudzani Maphwanya stirred controversy during a visit to Iran, where he made pro-Iran, anti-Israel and political statements, just as South Africa was trying to negotiate lower import tariffs with the United States. The fallout was swift. First, a public rebuke from Ronald Lamola, the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, then from his own Defence Minister, Angie Motshekga. Well, joining us in the studio is defense analyst Kobus Marais to unpack the diplomatic, political, and strategic implications of this moment. Hi, Kobus. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Linda. Fantastic. It's a long time that we haven't spoken to each other, but it's always a privilege and an honor.
So, General Maphwanya's statement was a diplomatic blunder?
Well, I think it was, in my opinion, probably a huge diplomatic blunder. If the Department of International Relations and Cooperation officially come out and issue a statement to say that he doesn't talk on behalf of the country, it's only the Minister of International Relations and the President that can talk about that, then that is probably, a huge blunder. It is more so in the time that we are in, where we are negotiating with America for better tariffs. And we know that probably the biggest threat and the enemy to the United States is none other than Iran. We also know about the allegations that the Iranians is behind the improved cash flow position of the ANC last year prior to the elections. And we also know that there are allegations that they might be behind South Africa's role to take Israel to the court, the Equality Court, and that they are even funding that. Whether that is true or not, but in the time that we live in and in politics, perception is the truth in the eyes of the beholder. So yes, it's a major blunder in my opinion. One must remember that any defense force, and also ours, part of the code of conduct is that members do not belong to political parties. They are not part of political policy making. They do not openly support a specific stance of a political party or a policy decision and direction. They are there to secure the country's integrity and secure the safety of our people as prescribed in the Constitution. Their mandate is quite clearly written out there. And then secondly, the defense force in any country, and more so in South Africa, is supposed to be a tool in support of foreign relations as far as the threat to our integrity and the safety of our people are concerned. So that is the role of the defense force, and it is in no way whatsoever, and it doesn't only relate to Iran, his visit to Iran, but in any country. You don't get involved in politics. You don't get so openly involved in the position of Iran to assure them of South Africa's support and our empathy with them, and all the actions by Israel versus Hamas. That is just uncalled for. It is in bad taste, and at least the perception of South Africa doing this and allowing this will most probably make the work and the challenges of the negotiators very tough. And one must remember that we are also not just in negotiations with America, but with the European Union as well, which is our biggest market. And whilst China is a major trading partner, one must remember that where we are earning foreign currency from, in other words, where we have surplus trade balances, European Union, America, the UK, those are the three most important markets. And without them, we cannot fund anything in government and in budget, and most certainly not in the defense force.
Kobus, what does this incident reveal about the coordination or lack thereof between defense and foreign affairs?
what is very important is that whenever someone from the Defence Force in an official position and capacity is visiting a foreign country, surely there must be liaison with foreign relations. There must be approval from the minister and the commander-in-chief, which is the presidency. And surely there must be briefings by defense intelligence. And in terms of what are the major threats and the issues going around, and is something that he needs to stay away with or from, and how he needs to deal with those things. So either those things are not in place and he has taken his decision all on his own, which is obviously unacceptable. What is important now is not necessarily the military courts that must take a leading role, but the politicians, more specifically the minister, and then the president as the commander-in-chief, should handle this very, very quickly and very strongly, so that it can also, send a message to any of the other Defence Force leaders involved in many of the outreaches towards other countries. We know that many of our soldiers and leaders, military leaders, have made visits to Cuba, to China, to Korea, to many other countries. And it is very important that there must be a single message, a single philosophy and an approach and a policy position with regards to outreaches, so that we cannot damage our position further.
How damaging do you think this is for South Africa's trade negotiations with the US?
One must remember that what we have experienced lately is a much more strenuous position and relationship with America. We know what is going on from the Trump administration. We know the challenges with regards to the discussions and negotiations about the tariffs. And we must also remember and keep in mind the yearly joint operations and joint exercises between America and South Africa, which was very, very important in the past, has also been cancelled not so long ago. So this is not good for South Africa with regards to our relationships with America and with the European Union.
There's been calls for him to be court-martialed. Do you think that's warranted?
I'm aware that there are some parties, and specifically the Democratic Alliance, who has asked for General Maphwanya to be court-martialed for what he has done. Maybe court-martial is not the right process and the platform to do that. He is very close to retirement, which means that, once he has left the Defence Force, then he cannot be charged at a military court anymore. What needs to be done is the Minister of Defence and Military Veterans and the President as the Commander-in-Chief, who are his political superiors, they should act immediately and suspend him and look for a proper chief of the South African National Defence Force that can follow in his footsteps and hopefully do a better job of what needs to be done.
Kobus Marais, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to respond to this embarrassing situation, and we hope that South Africa's credibility on defence will be rectified, and that the political leaders will make sure that we are seen in a very, very serious light in the future and at the moment. Thank you very much, and best wishes to you all.